Well, hello everybody. My name is Richard Wishart. I'm an enterprise architect and I've got a company called Delivery Management. And today I'm going to give you a quick overview of, a quick aspect of what I call Cloud of Things and the pace of change. So this is going to be quite a quick broadcast, but I just want to introduce you to what I do in a business sense. I've done quite a lot of scoping on Periscope. About general business topics, but I just want to show you some of my specific interests. So this is about Cloud of Things, and it's about RFID tags. So let's switch around. So here I am. My name is Richard Wishart. I'm an enterprise architect. I specialise in Cloud of Things. And my business domains are postal, express logistics, e-commerce, aviation and defence. So I'm going to give you a quick overview. I'll just put this up on its stand. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what it is that I do. And I want to try and emphasise, I'm not going to go into all the details because that's not appropriate for scope. So this scope will probably last about 5 or 10 minutes. I just want to take you through a little journey that I went through on a project that I did about 4 or 5 years ago now. So that gives you some of the context. I won't give you the most up-to-date stuff. This is just a historical view of the sort of the technologies that I've been involved in. And then we'll have a little bit of question and answers. So this is a bit of an experiment. First time I've really done my main business on a Periscope. I've done about 50 broadcasts on Periscope now. So I think I know how the broadcasts work. But what I want to do is I want to try and show you some of the technologies that I've been working with. So, RFID, radio frequency identification, and it's what you use for tracking. I use it for tracking. It can be used in a number of different ways. But this particular application is about measuring the quality, that I was involved in was measuring the quality of mail for the Universal Postal Union, which is part of the UN. About 4 or 5 years ago now, so it's quite old, but nevertheless I think it's a very good object lesson in how what technology is and how the technology advances, and it advances very quickly. So in the postal network we have RFID tags. An RFID tag, this is the old style, so this is what they were using about 4 or 5 years ago. So you have an aerial around the outside. You've got some discrete components, you can see the actual chips, and you have a battery. So this is an active RFID tag. About 5 years ago it was about $50. It came down to about $20 and I think it's now about $17, but still quite expensive. And it's quite old technology, so it's active RFID, it's a non-standard protocol, it's got quite high range. Actually in this particular application range is a bit of an issue. So this is the original RFID tags that are used, but were used in post, are still used quite extensively in post. But remember, what the price point, around $17 US dollars. I was then invited to do a project and led a project for the UN. And they wanted to look at alternatives to the quite expensive active RFID tag. Clearly, if something costs $15 to $17, you want to be able to use it several times, so you've got to repatriate it, you've got to resend it. This is for global monitoring of mail quality. So the idea is that you put it in an envelope, market research panelists in one country puts it in an envelope, it's sent to another country, it's read on arrival covertly, and it goes to a panelist in the destination country where it is received and measured. And you can measure global quality of mail using this concept. So the project I got involved in was then replacing that original tag with, or comparing it first of all, with passive RFID. So this is radio frequency RF identification, but it's passive. So what you have here is you've got the aerial, which is just as it says, a straightforward aerial. At this point here you have a micro dot. I don't know whether you'll be able to see it. I'll put it right up to the screen. You can actually see there is a dot right in the middle there, which is the integrated circuit. So this is an RFID tag without a battery. So the way that RFID works is that you have a radio frequency signal is sent out, it hits the tag, say the active tag or the passive tag. The aerial picks up the signal, it wakes up the chip then activates and responds, and the information is reflected back to the interrogator. So down to about $17, might have changed since in the last couple of years, but it was $17 when I was involved in the project. This, 12 cents. So 12 cents, and then we redid the tender again, and this came down to about 8 cents. So $50 down to $15, 12 cents down to 8 cents. And we implemented this around the world. So it's now, there's about 1 million RFID tags a year go through the postal network. And they measure quality of service covertly around the world and domestically. So there's a number of different schemes for this. But my estimation is that there's around 1 million RFID tags used every year. There's about 20 or 30,000 reading points in 60 to 70 countries. So the vast majority of the mail are going around, this is mail in envelopes, going around the world, is measured using the quality of service measurement system, and payment for delivery of mail is based on the quality that is seen on the RFID results. So moving on from there to the next, so that is what the project I was involved in. It was implementing these systems around the world. And then a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I came across this. So this is a printed RFID tag. So this is printed on paper, it's printed electronics. You can see that it's an aerial, I'll put it up close. So you can see this is the actual electronics on this piece of paper. You have the integrated circuit in the middle, you have the aerial around the outside, and it actually operates as an RFID tag, exactly the same as this RFID tag. So, but what do you think the price of this is? So this is less than a cent. So in over 5 years, a period of 5 years, this has gone from $50 to 8 cents to less than a cent. So you can see the extent of the change. So this is massive change. There's obviously far more to an RFID system than simply the tags. But if you bring the cost of the tag down to a really small amount, then you can do an awful lot more with it. So this is being used for covert measurement within the post. It's not being used at all for customer-facing applications, which I think is a real shame. And a lot of the posts continue to use the $50 or the $20, $50, $15 tag, when they could be using a tag that is less than a cent. So the problem is not the technology. The technology is here. It's been here for a long time. This technology has evolved and has changed. And what I've been showing you here is actually quite old. This stuff is actually quite old. Even this is 3 years old. The standards have changed. Things have evolved since then. It's not just the tags, as I say, it's the readers. The readers have evolved significantly. And what you have in the center as well, the analysis of the data, it's not done on a machine, on a server anymore. It's done in the cloud. So the whole thing has changed out of all recognition over the period of 5 to 10 years. But the posts, in their infinite wisdom, are still using the old tags. They're still paying a vast amount of money for the old tags. They're still using it for covert measurement, whereas they should be using it for in an open way directly with customers to give customers value from what they're doing. So really that's, I think, an introduction to what I do. I know that Periscope is primarily a B2C type audience at the moment. I'm very much B2B, business to business. I'm an enterprise architect. I specialize in cloud of things. I hope you've enjoyed this little presentation. A little bit of an interruption from my dog in the middle, but hey, that's the way it goes. And I hope that's given you food for thought. So if this is a success, I'll be doing other scopes on this subject of cloud of things. So I don't know if anybody's got any. We've got a few people on the scope, and I'll be putting it up as after the event as up onto YouTube, and I'll be putting it out on my various social media channels. But do you want to just hit the like button if you like what I've been telling you about, if it's been interesting, or tell me who you are so that I can answer any of your questions? That'd be really good. So what do you think? Do you want to hear more about Cloud of Things, or have I completely bamboozled you? I do hope you found it interesting. I'm a bit of an enthusiast on this, and it really disturbs me that the technology is moving so fast. I call it Cloud of Things, by the way, not Internet of Things. Internet of Things is a bit restrictive. Internet of Things, although it's a generic term that is being used these days, IoT. You'll have heard a lot about it. But when you look at a tag, either that sort of tag, or that sort of tag, or that sort of tag, these tags have not got Internet Protocol. These are not connected directly to the Internet. So therefore, Internet of Things is a misleading term. These are not Internet-connected devices. These are cloud-connected devices. Okay, so that's Richard Wishart. Internet of Things, Cloud of Things, Enterprise Architect. My company's called Delivery Management, and I'm an enterprise architect. So my expertise is not just the tags, but it's connecting the tags into the information ecosystem. Okay, so thank you very much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's quite a serious subject. It's not a trivial subject. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you listen in when I broadcast again. Thank you very much.